Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. What's really needed to stimulate the economy, part 2. Now, I talked about people actually going out and getting the jobs that are there and getting steady jobs, and that will stimulate the economy big time because the more money somebody is making on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis or consistent basis, they eventually expand to buy other things. Like I used the example of, a young man leaving his parents' home and getting an apartment or something. He got to furnish that apartment. He got to put food in it. He probably need a car. He got to put gas in that car, pay insurance. There's so many other things that actually gets it out there. But, as I said, there's a lot of people just not working. Now, I said, even if you get it could be an issue, even if everybody got those jobs that are still available and everything. But here's the second thing. If you really want to stimulate the economy, there needs to be an effort to stimulate the creation of new businesses that are relevant. Like one of the things they could really do, and there was a 600-page bill, maybe it's somewhere stuck in there, provide like low interest loans to people who want to start businesses, or grants even to start a business. In fact, since the government can give people $1,400 per person in a household, Give some small business, have people present something and say, okay, we're going to give you a $5,000 grant. We're going to give you a $10,000 grant. Provided they provide a viable business plan and everything. And that's very important. That's very important. They provide the viable business plan and they say, okay, this could work. Or they could be a small business already in there and say, look, we just need this help just to get started. See, understand something. When businesses disappear, when they fall out, the real reason isn't really even the economy, lockdowns, or anything. People ain't buying stuff anymore. Because think about something. Online businesses make money like a champ. Look at something like Zoom. That dude, the owner of that, I had been using it before these lockdowns and before the virus. But he went to another level. People having online stuff. That's because those businesses are relevant. People having deliveries. There's a app I follow on. There's a page I follow on IG called Black and Mobile, and these young brothers they set it up where people can get deliveries from Black-owned restaurants. Very intelligent. Set up businesses that are relevant. There's always room for business because all the business is providing a service. Okay, what services people need? Like a lot of people have adapted. Okay, like you've had, like I'm, familiar with this young man. I'm saying young, he's about my age, but he's still a youngin' to me. Who I met a couple decades ago, and I follow his page on IG. When everybody started first wearing a mask, he was advertising masks. So I got some masks from him. People can do stuff. They can figure out stuff. You got people doing design of masks and everything. They're adapting. These businesses are relevant. Somebody creating a business, maybe an online business where they, doing yoga or something. Charge people a certain amount of money to watch them do yoga and to do yoga with them at home. That's relevant. And even when, the COVID dies down and people get more back to relative normal, it's still a different vibe out here. See, the key to business is always understanding, what do people want? What do they need? What's relevant? See, businesses go out, even if COVID, one of the things that was happening, even if COVID didn't happen, the economy was going down. Anyway, it wasn't a robust economy. Forget what any politicians say. They always say that. There were a lot of people, there were stores closing in my area, a 6-figure area, before COVID. So it's just got worse. And then when you look at what's closed, people just not buying stuff there. Like even before this COVID, there was that thing known as the retail apocalypse. And with the retail apocalypse, you had businesses closing, all these retail stores closing, restaurants, clothing stores, shoe stores, stuff like that. What people are not saying, though, is like more businesses, retail places that cater to more low-income people have increased. And also businesses that cater to higher income people have increased. Luxury stores are they opening up new stores. Luxury brands and companies opening up new stores. Stores that cater to lower income people are opening up new stores. So what happened there? What was relevant? The middle class is shrinking. People either moving up or they moving down. That changes who buys stuff. That's how you really look at stuff. Look at what people buying, who buying what they interested in, and see what services they need. Like you might be in a position, like if you're in a position to cater to people with higher incomes, oh, you can make money like a champ. You can make money like a champ. Say you're a clothing maker or something. You make specially designed suits or like tailored suits. Like a tailor could make a lot of money for higher income people. See, and that's just one example. Or, you live in it, or say a big movement is happening where a lot of people are becoming vegan, particularly in the African-American community. It's estimated that 8% of the African-American community is vegan, and there's a lot of stores and stuff popping up. And you say, okay, I want a store like that. You might be able to create a health food store or a restaurant. Now, where I live, I'm actually familiar with a lot of owners of vegan restaurants because I'm not quite vegan, but I like eating vegan food when I can get to it. And they're doing well. They're doing well, So, if you want to stimulate the economy, encourage the creation of these businesses. If somebody got something else, see what the people are doing. And then that's something somebody can control on their own. There's been a lot of people who got laid off of jobs. I'm seeing reports of people who got laid off of jobs and they started a business and they're doing well because it was relevant. And that's what the government need to do. They need to help those businesses. If you can give $1,400 and then depending on the family, might be giving them $10,000 or something. Okay, if you can do that, give some business that can not only put money back in the economy. Think about it. Follow me on this one. Okay, say you got someone who wants to open up a vegan restaurant, right, in the neighborhood, right? So that actually stimulates the economy because one, they got to get spoons, forks, plates, all that stuff, right? Well, one, they got to pay the rent money that's going in the economy. They got to pay for supplies and stuff like that, right? They're creating jobs, right? They adding to the tax base of a jurisdiction, which ultimately pays the bills for government workers. They doing a lot. And then the workers, if they making enough, they putting the money back in. The workers at the place putting money back in. That stimulates it. But did that vegan restaurant get help? And it might just be a little bit of help. If they really want to stimulate, it got to be jobs. You got to just create the jobs. That's the key word, create. You got to create the money, not print money out of thin air. And let me be clear. Yeah, I appreciate getting that stimulus and everything, but let's, put it in my savings. It can help me get a little bit of interest. Might invest it in something down the road. But whatever the case, we got to think long term. And the long-term solution, and really just period, is just creating jobs, creating businesses. Because people still had some, like I said in the last episode, even with the lockdowns, there were still businesses in play. With the strongest lockdown, they only allowed certain people in the store and everything, but it was right there. And that's the key thing. If you want to stimulate it, assist, encourage the creation of new businesses. And y'all know what those businesses need to do. And so let's do it. Let's go make that money.